Here we go, guys. Kilo Delta 8 Lima Hotel Radio. POTA Boy here, coming to you live from Northeast Ohio, Ashtabula County. Tonight we got with me, and I'm awake tonight, guys. Sorry. No instant spews, random words out of my mouth. Tonight we got with us up above me here is Dave. Go ahead, Dave.
Good evening, everybody. This is David in Illinois, WD9N. Kick it over to Alex.
Hi. Oh, boy.
This is going to be a good night. I can tell already. Whiskey 6, whiskey. You got Alex here coming from Cheyenne, Wyoming.
You ever forget to just start? I'm Bill, W0KAL. I'm in southeastern South Dakota. And Chris, go ahead and introduce yourself first.
Okay, I'm Alpha Echo 4 X-Ray Oscar, and I am in central Georgia, south of about 2 hours south of Atlanta down here. And it was like 97 degrees today, so yay. Good for us.
Wow.
Yeah. Brag it all you can.
Exactly. Hey, Hillbilly Ham.
So welcome in, Hillbilly Ham. Thank you for coming in. Chris.
Yes, sir.
Georgia Parks and Propagation. You have your own YouTube channel as well, correct?
I do. I try to make as much as I can about Georgia parks. Georgia, as far as POTA goes, is one of the more active states, and so as I been around all the parks in Georgia, I try to videotape and document good places, bad places, good things and bad things about all the parks, and that's kind of what my channel was dedicated to. I have another channel with just my call sign AE4XO, but I started there a few years ago, but I changed about a year and a half ago to just be more centered on Georgia parks, as I was trying to get to all of them and document as many as I could. So that's where that is. So if you see the AE4XO channel, there's a bunch of personal stuff on that channel, and some POTA, some field day with my old club. I have all my club stuff there from 2007. But the Georgia Parks is the newer channel, and that's what I'm trying to concentrate on.
Right on. And when you say all the parks that you've activated all the parks, how many parks are there in Georgia? Let's clarify this, because I asked you this question already, because I was like, wow, man.
Yeah, at the time in August 17th was when I finished the parks. At that time, we had 231, and now they added. I think we added 6 more in the fall, and I've been to. I think I've only been to 4 of those, so I still have 2 more left. But if the maths, you're not supposed to do math on a live stream, but yeah, there was 231 at the time, and unfortunately, the artwork for POTA is a little behind, so I didn't get my certificate yet, but it's still in the awards section. I can see, hey, you got them all, but yeah, it was at 231 at that time.
Wow.
That's impressive.
That's
impressive. Very impressive.
Well, it's not so impressive when you realize it took me almost 4 years to do it. So, some people do
that's a lot of ground. That's a lot of territory.
Still impressive, though.
Yeah, some of the guys have done like Delaware in a weekend, or they've done their 50. We have one guy, K8PZN. He did 56 parks in a day. But I, it took me a while, quite a while to get to all of those, because once in Georgia, because I'm in the middle of Georgia, so everything was fine. It was like, I had 20-minute drive, and then the next 6 months later, I had an hour drive to go. I was doing concentric circles around my house, and then eventually it was like 4.5-hour drives to get to a new park, and you have to spend the night, and it was
Mhm.
very difficult. I spent a lot of money on gas, overnights, that kind of stuff. But last year I got laid off in May, and so I was like, yay, oh great! But they were still paying us until August, so I was like, well, let's go to the park. I mean, I would go during the middle of the week, looking for jobs, and then I'm like, I'm gone, and so yeah. So then I was able to work on the rest of those parks that I had to finish for that Worked All Georgia. So. But it was my brother's birthday was August 13th, I guess. So it was pretty close to his birthday to be able to finish all the parks there.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I could only wish that I could get all the parks. I had a short stint there where I did a tour around Ohio, and I was getting all the states around Ohio. And
Well, some people concentrate on with POTA. Some people concentrate on there because there's so many different awards you can get, right? So you just had that list up, of my awards, but there's so many different kinds you can do. Each park you go to, if you're activating a park at every 20, you get an award for being at the park 20 times. You get the Kilo awards for activating at 1,000 contacts. You can get the Eagle's Nest for this and that, and all kind of different things. So there's a ton of awards that people can go. You can activate a park on a single band and do 1,000 contacts on a single band, like 17 meters or something, or things like that. So if you're looking at if you can only get to one or two parks, like some of you guys can't travel that far, or whatever, there are other awards you can do just sitting at one park and be the park leader at that park, and you don't have to go to all over the place. There's people that have thousands and thousands of contacts at one park because that situation, and so it's really nice to be able to do that, even if you can't get out, you can't go anywhere. But one of my goals after like the first year I was at POTA, the Bailey Sprott Challenge, if you heard of that one, that's where you either activate or hunt every single day for a year. I did that for the hunting. Again, something that doesn't have an award. It's the hardest award to earn in POTA, but there's not an award for it. But I did the hunt for where I hunt a park, one park every day for a year. And that was very difficult because we were on a cruise. We went on a cruise to Alaska, and I had to get my laptop and connect remotely and do FT8 from Alaska on the cruise to my house here in Georgia. And I even had to have my niece come over one time and reset my computer because my computer wasn't responding. And I was freaking out. I was like, man, I've got to do this. I've got to do this. And then the problem with going on the cruise, we left out of Seattle. So new day was like 4:00 in the afternoon. And I had to hunt, here in Georgia based on my house, time frame. And so it was just, it was a lot of like, oh, and by the way, British Columbia is a whole nother hour earlier. So, when we got over there, it changed the time zone. And I was like, I had a hard time keeping up, but it was fun, to try to do that, over those years. But there's still one award that is still, that it beats everything that I've done. I have, almost 500 activations and gobs and gobs of contacts and gobs of awards. But the one award that's not listed on that page is still my favorite award. And that is the Outstanding Operator that Jason used to give out. That was for a time when I was at a park and I was finishing up a park. My phone was almost dead. My battery and my radio was almost dead. And it was it's on my QRZ page. There was a situation up in the Nantahala forest in North Carolina, and a kid had cut his finger with a hatchet. And the two hams that were there were on their way to the hospital in Murphy. And because I was there, I called the hospital. I got them ready. When they got to Murphy, the staff was waiting outside for them to get the kid, wrapped up and fixed. And then he ended up having to go to Chattanooga for surgery. But that award is by far my favorite one. That again is not listed on the POTA page. That's why I put it on my QRZ, because that was just one of those situations where you do what you have to do to help somebody, and they didn't have any cell phone. There's no cell phones up there, and they didn't have any Starlink or anything. And so that one stands out for sure.
Absolutely. Good job on you, man. Good
They
on
retired
you,
that,
man.
a couple of years ago?
I'm sorry?
I think they retired that 2-3 years ago, maybe?
Yeah, probably. I haven't seen any of those come out in a while, so.
So,
what's your plans now?
My plans now?
Yeah.
Well,
let's roll into what you're really here for. Let's do
Yeah.
this.
Well,
Don't ask me for money.
My plans for POTA is just I don't have any lofty goals right now. Just to get 1,000 contacts at all the parks that are locally, starting with the closest one again. Get a kilo at everything. Get a 20 activator at everything. That's my goal. But for Georgia, on this April 18th and 19th, that's coming up in a couple of weeks, is I think this is our 4th year that we're doing the Georgia POTA contest. If you roll over to georgiaparks.org, that's our website. There's information on there about this actual POTA contest. Everybody says like, hey, POTA is not a contest until it's a contest. And Florida and Georgia are having their contest the 3rd weekend in April. And it just happened to be, originally we started the 1st weekend in April. The 2nd weekend in April is the Georgia QSO party, so we didn't want to interrupt that. And then the 3rd weekend was usually the Support Your Parks, so we didn't want to kind of combine everything. When we first started, it was fine. Then Easter moved into the 1st week of April this year, and so we were like, can't do that. So the 3rd weekend of April, Georgia Parks contest, actual contest, which means it has rules. It has the restrictions on bans, the no work bans, that sort of thing. It has an actual time frame. That's the difference between POTA and an actual contest. Is POTA has no time frame, right? There's no yes, you get credits and you get awards, but there's no ending to POTA, right? There's no beginning and ending date and time.
Right.
Whereas a contest has a very restrictive, obviously, date and time. And so that's the fundamental difference between POTA and a contest. And so again, no work bans. All modes are available, though. We don't restrict the modes. We also have a bunch of different categories. If you look at that gaparks.org website, it'll tell you all the rules and the categories. We have QRP categories. We have rover categories, team categories. This year, we actually started last year. We thought about last year doing this teams category where 2 people can go out as one call sign and be registered as a team. Like it'd be a husband and wife or 2 buddies. Instead of using the club call, because the club restrictions are you have to be blah blah blah, blah so many people and blah blah blah, whatever. I'm the club president of our club, so I can use the call sign for the club, but the team may not be able to do that. And so this year we're doing a team category, which is very helpful for people that like to rove together. And so AC4 SH Claude, he'll be talking about that a little bit later on, more towards April with you guys, hopefully. So If you have any questions, though, you're welcome to email me. As far as the contest, you can look on my QRZ. I'm good there. But if you are thinking about it, coming to Georgia, or if you're already in Georgia and you want to activate a park during that weekend, we really would like for you to register. Even if somebody's already else registered for that park, if you would go ahead and register. You guys might not be there at the same time, or you will be in a different section, that sort of thing. So we just like to know kind of how many parks are being activated. For that contest, even though we have the 237 now, I guess it is, for that contest, the emphasis is on the 52 state parks. Well, it's 50 state parks plus Centennial Olympic Park and Stone Mountain Park. Those two aren't technically state parks, but Centennial Olympic and Stone Mountain are special in who owns them and how they're run and operated. So, but we did add them last year. And so we do have the 52 that we like to activate for the years that we've already done it. We activated all the parks last year. The first year, I think we missed one because it was flooded, and then the 1 year because the state wouldn't open. It wasn't open. And so all the parks obviously have to be accessible to you to be counted. So. So that's basically the Georgia POTA contest that's coming up.
So is it a contest between you and Florida, Georgia and Florida?
No,
it's the Orange Bowl or whatever.
No. Florida wanted to start theirs, and they just happened to I think they picked that third weekend before we changed. Honestly, because having something like having a POTA event, even a meetup, a POTA event, meetup, club, group on Support Your Parks weekend is a great idea, because there's already going to be 1,000 people out there already because they want those awards. The Support Your Park list, if you have the POTA extensions and you look at the person's awards and you see, Support Your Parks weekend for 4 quarters and 7 years and, in a row, or not 7 years, but you know what I mean? It gets piled up in there. But and it's not a competition between us and Florida. What is a competition between is yourself and your awards from last year. Because, or your stats from last year. And it's, we do have a little bit of recognition. We had we did have some awards that were given out, printed out certificates, that we met up in North Georgia, and we offered those to the people that won those categories. But as far as like plaques or something, we don't have the funds for that. We don't have the, sponsors for that either. The Georgia QSO party the weekend before, they do have plaques, and a lot of our guys here in Central Georgia actually won last year. We had I think 2 of them actually won the categories last year for the QSO party, and so they got their plaques. And so, but I think we did offer to the winners. I believe I was sick that whole month, like when the awards were happening, and so I think we did have them. We gave them a hat, I think, or something like that. I remember donating some money for that, but yeah, it's a good way to get out to Georgia state parks and really kind of see what the state park has to offer, because a lot of the state parks, there's camping, there might be some trails or something, but people really don't know what Georgia has to offer out there, and having to activate a park all day will give you that sensibility to know what the state park has to offer.
Nice.
Love it.
Okay.
I know a little what Georgia has to offer because I was down there at what used to be Fort Gordon. So they have sand, they have fire ants, and they have their afternoon rain every day.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's why we have a lot of these state parks. They have a lot of pavilions with covered pavilions. Are nice,
You're gonna need it.
and yeah, fire ants. Every year we've been at the state we've been in Cordele, which is just south of us, about 45 minutes. Every year coming across the lake is a big rainstorm, and we have to stop. I remember last year I was cooking the burgers, and rain came. I had to use a little George Foreman to cook 25 hamburgers for everybody. It took 3 hours to cook 25 hamburgers because we were on this little grill. But some of the pavilions have power, and that's nice. That sort of thing. But yeah, it's nice to be able to get out and have a group meet up. POTA is a very interesting event. Like I've been a ham operator for 30 years, and I could go back and talk about some of the other groups that I've been involved with. But POTA seems very different. It is field day every day, and field day typically brings a crowd. Especially for dinner time. Like in our case, when we do field day, we have we'll have 40, 50 people. We used to have like 70 to 90 people at field day, but over time things change. But we'll have 40 to 50 people at field day dinner, and have a great time, that sort of thing. And POTA has been kind of the same way. We haven't had that big of a crowd, but it's very consistent with the numbers that we get in our group, and our guys and gals are extremely busy activating. At any time during the week, there's 2 or 3 of us that are always going out, and so but it's been a very very different kind of a crowd, and then you also have where we didn't have in the 90s when I was growing up. First started. We didn't have all the social media platforms like you have now. You have YouTube, Discord, TikTok, and all the things, right? I mean, even WhatsApp or whatever, Signal. Our Signal chat we have is just always on. And I go in there and I miss it for a day, and there's 400 messages on Signal that I missed. But Discord, especially Discord with the spotting and all of that, it has really, 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 really helped make those groups cohesive and make it more. They call it a hamily. I mean, I don't know if anybody in this group calls it that, but it is definitely. You spend more time with people talking on POTA and Discord than you do with your family a lot of times. I know this group, when any time of the day or night I look, and somebody's always in the chat,
Yep. We've dubbed ourselves the Bourbon Ham Fam.
Yepper.
There you go.
Yes,
yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah. And it, I when I was growing up, I started when I was 17. That's when I got my license the first time, and it was kind of intimidating, really, to talk to these adults on their same level, kind of thing. But over time, it became where the ham clubs in my area, they became friends, and now I'm an elderly 52, so I know that these
dust?
What?
Does that make me dust then?
No, I doubt it. But what I mean is, I've known some of these people since 1991, and I can always rely on them if something happens, like a car. I had one time I had a fan belt blowout in my car, and I just got on the 2-meter and, hey, I need help, and somebody came and we put the fan belt on back on my car in the middle on the side of the highway, and it was like, wow, that was, that if I hadn't had my radio, I don't know what I would have done, obviously, but it's been a really good hobby, and POTA just it exploded with popularity, and I think the reason is because it gets you outside and gets you to places that you wouldn't normally do or go.
A lot of the people I've talked to they all say it's like, who do we have? What was it? Hillbilly Ham. Same way as I am, always outdoors, camping, hunting, fishing, something. So when you can lug the radio along and just throw another hobby in there while you're out, it's just awesome.
Yeah, I at Hamcation, man, there's
Be
a lot of
fun.
there's a bunch of ham operators at Hamcation, and a bunch of different factions that go out. You have the YouTube group, you have this group, the QRP group, whatever, but you saw them all at the POTA tent, whether or not they were
Yep.
QRP only, or they were this chaser or that chaser, or they wanted county hunters or whatever. It was just amazing to see the different groups come in and still all kind of gather around that tent and really see what they had going.
We have a group that does a POTA meet and greet over kind of toward the St. Louis area in Illinois. And we get together at one of the big state parks over there, all kinds of room. And there'll be, good grief, 6-8 stations on the air right there around the pavilion where we're at. We're all like, all right, what band are you on? What band are you on? So we're not on top of each other on the same band or something. But, it's just crazy. But there's a guy over there. His name's also Dave, N9 VFR. And he was the first guy to activate from every state, all 50 states. But I sat and talked with him at that meet and greet. And one of the things that we got talking about was the fact that POTA gets people that maybe they don't have a great home station. Maybe they're in an apartment, something like that, where they just deed restricted, whatever HOA areas, for whatever reason, they can't even operate from their house maybe, or if they do, it's very limited. Maybe they can slap a ham stick out in the backyard for a little bit and the neighbors don't catch it. So they're sort of doing POTA from the house. And they said, there's so many people that have a ham license that were not using their privileges that POTA has just they just go like, wait, I can do that. And then everybody wants to talk to me. So it's like, bam, they're out there. So you got all these people that put the work in to get the license and that effort to study that are now out there just like, oh man, I'm having a blast with it. And Sonny's in there just going, yep, that's me.
I gotta say a special hello to a friend of ours, Maya. Hello, Maya.
Maya?
And Honey Shark. They're watching us right now from the Philippines and over in Taiwan.
Oh man, we're in trouble
Very
now.
Nice.
Yeah, that's amazing. And that's
Maya.
all of that changed. I've seen that too. With global reach of social media. It's like it's just mind-boggling how. Oh yeah, they're just in the Philippines. No big deal. Whatever.
Oh! I got the most amazing story to tell about the Philippines, and it's great. It's great. Okay, we're gonna go a little squirrel.
Are you
here.
going to be pulled off of
Oh,
YouTube
no.
for this?
This
Just
is
a
a
little bit,
big
just a little bit.
YouTube squirrel.
Uh-oh.
So we all see my name right here. We all see my name right there. Okay, POTA boy, right?
Right.
Who can tell me in here what POTA boy means over in the Philippines?
I'm afraid to ask.
Oh, I was so excited.
Can we say that on here?
Well,
I think if you have to ask, the answer is probably shouldn't.
Demonetize it.
We're not monetized. POTA boy in the Philippines means poor boy. POTA boy, POTA in the Philippines does not mean parks on the air.
Yeah, there's
Not
been
really.
companies have been messed up that way too when they didn't realize their car one time was not a good name, and they were like, why is it not selling in the country?
Nova.
You know,
Miles laughing.
I know there was a diet gummy or something like that back when I was young called AIDS. So,
Boy, that took a turn around in what, the 80s?
yeah,
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
yeah.
Oh my
I
goodness.
mean some things have a anyway. Back on subject.
Yeah, back on subject. Back to Georgia.
Back
to
to
Georgia,
Georgia.
where POTA means POTA Parks. on
yeah,
the air.
Georgia. Y'all come out to the park now, okay?
Y'all come
Um,
out to the park.
Yeah, we don't have
There's some
we don't
candy
have
for you, kiddo.
we don't have issues like some states where they kick you out of places. You know, I saw all of the problems with Virginia a few months ago. You know, Georgia's been very very responsive or very easy to work with. You know, you only have a few places that you have to be very careful, and most of those are national in nature, like Fort Pulaski down in Savannah. It's a national historic site, and they're very conscientious of no spikes and no trees. Tripods are fine. Leaning things up in a tree is fine on a mast, but they will come and ask you to remove your spike from the ground, that sort of thing. Yeah, and so you know we don't have that trouble. The Savannah group down there, when they first started POTA, they approached the historic site and told them what this was. You know, and they kind of negotiated. Yes, our hams are going to be well behaved, and you know they're welcome as long as they behave. And so so far we haven't had any any real trouble that we've been kicked out of. You are supposed to have a fishing license, at least a land pass for the WMAs, and a park pass for the parks, the state parks. But I've only been asked I think maybe one time since 2021 when I started about a license. So not too shabby of a time here in Georgia. Most of the WMAs are pretty empty when you get there. Other than this Saturday, we had 15 cars in the parking lot of this WMA that I had never seen anybody in but one other person. I've been going there 5 years, and we had a 6-year-old birthday over here. It was a national wildlife area, not even a state park. It was a 6-year-old birthday over here. And then the University of Georgia comes in with their surveying equipment and their Matrice drone, which you know about a Matrice drone is like the biggest drone ever. And they were flying it in the WMA, I mean, in the National Wildlife Area for surveying. And then there's these Boy Scouts that come in here to walk the trails. They go and they clean the trails, and they said they're you know, they're like Boy Scouts kind of thing with, you know, their group, but they go and they walk all these trails and make sure all the trails are accessible and stuff. And then I was like, what in the heck, man? I was shocked. I was like, I didn't know this was going to be a party. We had like I said, like 15 cars in the parking lot, and it's a little tiny area, you know, where I chose to spend a couple of hours, which is great that they're using it. But I was just like, I've never seen this many people ever. You know, there's other state parks, of course, that, you know, where they have the lakes and stuff that are really, really busy. But that one was a national wildlife area. I was shocked. I was like, I didn't know that we did that up here.
You didn't know you needed to bring refreshments?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, the lady had rented, so the facilities, the toilets, you know, are in a vault toilet, but they had the roof had collapsed, so they had put tarps over it. And so I guess for her party, she rented a porta potty, right? And I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. There's a porta potty now. You know, I was like, yeah, right. And it had a lock on it when I got there, and I was like, that's strange that they would have it out here and not lock it. Well, she came and cut the lock when she got there. She's like, yeah, we rented this for the party for our 6-year-old. I'm like, oh, no wonder it's there. I was like, well, you better make sure nobody else is going to use it, because 50 people coming through there today are gonna use that thing now because it's open.
Hmm.
But I was like, well, that's nice of the national, the feds to bring in a porta potty for us, and that wasn't the case.
Wow.
But yeah, back to like I said, in my history of ham radio time, I've been in clubs my whole time since here in Middle Georgia, but the biggest group I was in the Georgia Baptist Disaster Relief Group, where we used ham radio to talk to our units. We had cleanup and recovery with chainsaws and things like that. We had feeding units. We had a child care unit, and then we had the communications unit. We actually had two trailers. We had one north and one south. We had those trailers were very well equipped with ham radios. Both of them had 5 operator stations, so we could have HF, VHF, UHF, business band. One of them even had like the Red Cross radios, and both of them had repeaters. One had a repeater that was actually owned by Kenny Rogers' estate up in North Georgia. We had acquired that repeater from Kenny Rogers at one time, and then originally we had the first satellite internet with the big dish. We had a big dish set up with a big tripod, probably not huge, but it was probably about maybe 3-4 feet wide. And I don't remember if it was called Starlink or not. It may have been called Starlink. I don't remember, but that was in like the late 90s. And so when Hurricane Katrina hit, that was our big test, was Hurricane Katrina. If we could support a multi-state activation, if you would, or I don't know what better word to say, deployment, I guess. We were in Pascagoula, Mississippi, and Gulf Breeze, I think it is, down there, Alabama area, and we used WinLink we had the way the Georgia Baptist worked is the ham radio operators would go out with the cleanup and recovery units, and we would be the safety officer because we would be back away from the chainsaws a ways. So we served as safety people. And if anything happened, because cell phones were so unreliable back in those early 2000s, late 90s, 2000s, if anything happened, we would get on the radio and call back to the trailer, which was at the main station where we had our cooking units. And so we would have constant communications that way. And every day when the cleanup and recovery units, the child care unit, they all had, and the feeding units, they all had daily reports that had to be sent back to the Georgia Baptist headquarters in Atlanta. We actually used in 2005, a thing called WinLink, and it was amazing. We used it over mostly 40 meters HF, until there was like a solar flare and that sort of thing, and it clobbered the ability to send email out. But we would have the floppy disk, go into the computer, and we had a little trailer, a small trailer, about a 8-foot trailer that had consolidated all of our reports, put them on the disk, and then we would email them over HF radio to Atlanta. And that was a great way to use WinLink, and it was in its very, very, very infancy back then. WinLink stuck with us, and I have sitting over here on the shelf behind me, I still have that. It's the SCS a modem that was in 2005 money. It would cost over $1,000 for that modem. It was a Pactor 3 modem that they bought for the TS2000 to connect to that and send WinLink, and it was a great way to send those reports. And so So I've been part of Aries since since I started. I've been with Skywarn. I've taken who knows how many Skywarn classes. I used to teach the ARRL the ARES classes. I used to teach those where you would there was 3 levels of the ARRL Aries classes. You also had to have the FEMA classes for the incident management and that sort of thing. So we went all through those. So I've done a lot of different things, and again, over the time, POTA probably stands out as probably the most fun that I've had. Being with the Georgia Baptist, I wouldn't consider that fun. It was a lot of times that work, and just like Aries and Skywarn, and even to some extent, if you're in Oxcom or something like that, that kind of work is very heartbreaking to see. You're talking to somebody after a flood and they don't have anything left, and you have to basically put everything that they own out on the street. So that work was, extremely, extremely difficult to go through sometimes.
So who wants to call Sonny's phone and see if he jumps? Oh, he's
there. He is. Yeah. He's back. It's my melodious voice because I'm getting a cold. So
I was reading a text message from my bestie, my best friend. Her son is going in for a procedure, and she's a little worried about it. So
that's understandable.
But yeah, I'm sorry I wasn't sleeping. I promised I wouldn't sleep and just start randomly talking. I muted
like first. Drooping a little further and a little further and a little further.
No, I was tired earlier. I did take a power nap, so I'm going to probably be up for, oh God, probably a good. I'll get to bed about 2:30.
So you get some good DX in tonight, then, right?
If there's anything out there, yeah. I got KB tonight.
Yeah, I think you were the first one in on KB stream tonight.
I was. Yeah. Yes, I was the first one in on the stream tonight. I was excited. He could actually hear me with my 100 watts.
I heard you just fine too.
100 watts.
Yeah, I was the propagation tonight. It was just wonderful. It was beautiful tonight. In the park, I got Spain and Canary Islands. It was a good time. I had a really great time. I activated Geneva State Park again tonight. As Chris was saying just a few minutes ago, there are not just one, but there are multiple different awards that you can get for operating the same park over and over again. Mm-hmm. I got the ladder board for it. I got the leader of the park. I'm leader of the park. How's that song go? Leader of the pack, something like that. That's me. That'd be POTA Boy over there. And it was funny. The guy that had it before me was there one day when I went, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't like you. You took my spot."
Have you guys ever had a new park come on POTA and then like kind of race everybody to get there first?
I've tried.
Not had a new park in this area for a minute.
So we have a few that we'd like to submit, and once we submit those, we're going to be watching. We're going to get up early and okay, not today. Go back to bed.
Yeah, it was like we've done that. We've had 2 batches in the last year where Claude added, new parks, and it's like a little race. Honestly, I've been to several of those. but it's not a competition, but it is kind of thing.
Mhm.
I love having when you look at the park and you go, hey,
First activator.
A4XO is the first activator. That is that I don't understand. I don't know why. That's just it's narcissistic, maybe. I don't know, but I left my mark on something, in ham radio, and so if you look up at Sitka, Alaska, the two parks downtown, AT&O for that. Nobody else has even been there much, and then one on Beacon Hill. But Beacon Hill in British Columbia has 1,000 activations. But the two in Sitka, I got those, and so it's that's gonna be very hard to beat over there because of how difficult it is. But I didn't understand. There's enough hams in Sitka that they could have activated all 5 of those parks multiple hundreds of times, but the parks they're just not interested in doing it, I guess. I know the ones here, they're close enough to get a couple hours drive, and so but I know David, you said yours are not close enough to
Yeah, where I'm located here in Illinois, it's like I've got a park that's like 5 minutes away. I mean, I'm literally a mile off the border of the park. And the next closest one, there's a small one down here. It was the first state capital in Illinois. It's about a half hour south of me. And then let's see, my next closest is going to be about a half hour west of me, something like that. Not quite, I guess. Those are the next closest parks to me. And there's no other state parks there. And it's like everything's been activated. And short of the state acquiring a piece of ground and making it a new park, there's just nothing new popping up around here. The last new one I'm aware of that came up in Illinois was down in Shawnee National Forest. I don't remember what that's called down there now. Let me see. Is that it? Nope, I don't believe that's the right one. I'm looking at them on the map here.
Okay, well, you're looking. I got a question that I've asked pretty much every guest on here since it's happened to me.
Jumped on.
Chris.
Yes,
Down.
sir.
Very important. Very. Very.
Sorry about that.
Don't worry me.
Start sweating, brother.
Very serious question. Okay, seriously. What would your scariest activation? I've asked everybody so far, all of our guests so far, except for KB.
You kind of broke up. What was the what?
Scariest activation.
The scariest activation. Wow. See, we don't have that trouble in Georgia. There was a guy that was a homeless guy here. He was living in the park. When we went, I had gone around. Like normally, I activate very, very close to the kiosk because that's usually the front of the WMA. Anywhere in Georgia, the kiosk is where you go sign the book. You say, "I'm here," and sometimes they have a little place for money if they you put money in. But it also has the maps and like I said, it has the book usually to say, because they want to know how many people have been visiting the park, And so normally I activate there, but this time I went around to the campground, and as I was setting up, there was a guy. He was around the corner. I couldn't see him, and his truck was backed up into the woods. And he was a homeless guy, and he said he'd rather be homeless living in the park than living with his baby mama. And so I was like, okay. I was like, I don't know what that situation is, but I had to, I had to jump his truck off because he said overnight his truck had died. And so I don't know if that was scary, like some of the places where in Florida, they've had people run off activators, from just being in the wrong place or something a lot of times. I do have a story about that in a second, but as far as me, I've never really been really, really scared. I try not to be at the park after dark unless I'm with other people. Parks in the dark is no fun anyway because there are bugs that come out in Georgia, even in the
well, yeah.
daytime, but the nighttime bugs are even worse. Also, other creepy crawlies that I don't really want to interfere with here in Georgia at night, too. But we did have an activator that totally did not go to www or http potamap.us, which is also, by the way, created by one of our guys here in Central Georgia. The potamap.us is made by N9FZ Canaan. Anyway, that map will show you exactly where you need to go. And this guy did not follow that map at all. He was going to a battlefield area here in Central Georgia, and he was going down. He said he had gone down about a half mile to to where the park should have been, and he got shot at. And he quickly turned around because it didn't say private property. He didn't have, but it also didn't say, battlefield park or anything like that. And I asked him what road he was on. I said, yeah, you were a mile from where you were actually supposed to be. And this little park is just a little parking lot. It's not, there's no road to go down or anything, but he got shot at. And I was like, well, you're not going to do that again, are you? Kind of thing. But yeah, I personally haven't had any real scary, events. Even in Florida, going out to Florida, I haven't had any real scary times.
No crocker critters.
Oh yeah, any kind of critters. There's some sketchy parks in Florida, a lot more than Georgia, and in South Carolina, there's a real sketchy park over near Columbia that one of our guys, he was having to dodge when he was putting out his counterpoise wires. He was telling us he had to go around the human feces in the park because of where it was, and so that's labeled the Poopy Park now. We call that the Poopy Park there in Columbia. And he said he carries twice on each hip when he goes to that one. But he doesn't go there anymore. But he activated it, got his 1,000, and he said he's done with it. So, but yeah, I haven't had any real troubles.
I've had one scary situation. I don't know if you've watched my YouTube. I don't know if you caught that video. These guys know it. You can see their eyes rolling.
Telling me about it. I haven't heard this. We have a lot of new viewers tonight.
You do.
When you're an activator, Well, anyways, so I was out at the park and it was a night activation. Well, I'm sitting there at the table, had my antenna, everything out, ready to go. I'm going to town, making the contacts. And then during the middle of keying up, I had the mic in my hand, making the contact with a guy. In the background, in the live stream, you hear it, and they heard it on the radio while I was keyed up. Just a roar. You see me just stop in mid sentence. I stop. I just turn and look. I almost pooped, so it would have been titled the Poopy Park at that point. But that was Poopy POTA on there, PPOTA.
Yep, we would have nicknamed you Poo Boy instead of POTA Boy.
Well, there is a toilets on the air now. By the way, in England, over in the UK, they have toilets on the air.
Toilets on the air.
Awesome. Look it up. It's out there. Toilets on the air.
When we were talking about porta potties on the air, see, they beat us
to too. We were. Yep.
Young Brits.
It's funny.
I see Welby again.
It's funny, where it's funny that everything started kind of with like worldwide flora and fauna, and then POTA, in POTA in 2016 when the ARRL started, and then regular POTA that we have now. And now you have, you had beaches on the air. That's kind of come down a little bit, but you have the bunkers on the air. There, I saw that there where they talk about bunkers in the ground, I guess.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. And then toilets on the air over in England. I heard that on
castles on the air.
Yeah, and so there's lots of different little, lighthouses has always been a thing, I think, also.
Yeah, lighthouses have been a thing since I as far back as I can remember. I've been licensed since 2009, and I know that was one of the things that my Elmer was telling me about in the day was lighthouses on the air.
Lighthouses, yeah.
That and fox hunts has been around for decades.
Fox hunts, yeah.
Oh, we love fox hunts, around here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to do those.
A fox for a fox hunt for a guy. He took it to a local community college. And I told him, I said, you need to take this thing to the security office and show it to them so they don't call the bomb squad out.
Oh, no.
Because it was their, it was one of their electronics engineering classes or something like that. He was taking it over there to do. And so I used a 50 cal ammo can, drilled the top of it, put a BNC on it. So it's a 50 cal ammo can with a rubber duck antenna on it.
Oh, no.
And I told him, it's like, you have got to label this thing up. Something. Tell the security people, because they're going to have the bomb squad in there and they're going to blow the thing up.
My APRS tracker is in one of those green ammo cans.
Yep.
In bright yellow letters, it says APRS tracker on both sides.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, it's funny when we were doing I never thought about that, but our fox for the Ashtabula County Amateur Radio Club is a briefcase. So you can only imagine how that looks.
Well, this day and age, as far as that goes, I mean, anything, a backpack.
Oh, yeah.
Anything.
Yeah.
Anything. Because if you sit your fox just sitting by a building and then leave it, then, everybody's hunting that transmitter. But yeah, you don't know. Our transmitter was a 50-watt mobile with a 13B2 beam antenna facing directly into a water tank downtown in our house, in our town. So when that beam hit the water tank, that signal just went everywhere, and we never found the person. They were like, "Yeah, I'm over here across from the hospital." Like, well, you're not supposed to be using 50 watts for one thing, We were like, limit it to 5 watts. Or what we did, actually, we started at high power, and then every 5 minutes or 10 minutes, we had them lower the power, rating. And but he was like, I was like, well, you're kind of going against what the nature of this, because
when you're in the near field for the last quarter mile, it's hard to find.
We were across town still getting full scale signals. I'm like, well, that's why, because you're hitting this metal water tank and it's just going everywhere. But yeah, fox hunt's something we want to do as a club. We want to get somebody to head that up. I'm slightly busy with running the club, so I asked them, like, hey, who wants to head that up? But we'll get that probably maybe in the spring as it gets a little better. So
nobody raised their hand.
Not yet. But
our guys have played, except for when it was the extreme weather up here to negative degrees. But they played all the way into the winter. One time I was the fox, and I put mine in the trunk. I put it in the trunk and took all the antennas off my car and put the fox in the trunk.
That's a good one.
I would do it.
That would be a fun thing to do for like the POTA meet and greet that they do here in our region. That would be a fun thing to add to that.
Well, Yeah, I mean,
Just tell them what park it's in. Don't tell them what pavilion, and they got a fox hunt to find the pavilion you're at.
yeah, and that's what I was going to say. With some of the state parks aren't too bad, but some of our WMAs are 5,000 acres, so it'd be kind of hard. But but the state parks, yeah, if it's it's in a pavilion, yeah, it's in a pavilion or at a picnic table, because there's picnic tables scattered everywhere on the state parks, and that's a good idea. As long
when you
as
see
it's in
3 vehicles with big screwdriver antennas on them, it's usually a giveaway.
That's right. That's right. But yeah, that would be good. That would be cool because you could hide it in one of our parks it goes all the way around the lake, so you could be anywhere on the lake, and the lake would help it kind of bounce along, I guess.
Right.
Ooh.
Well, my friends, I hate to be the party pooper, but that hour's gone already.
I was worried I couldn't talk for an hour.
See, it goes quick, doesn't it?
Congratulations,
radio.
Chris, you did it.
I don't.
Yeah, it goes quick, man.
Everybody out there in the chat, real quick. Everybody out there in the chat, what you call? Tell us where you're at. Say hello and say hello to our guest tonight, Georgia. GA Parks and Propagation. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for letting me come on and talk about the contest. Look at georgiaparks.org and look for Claude later on as we get a little bit closer. The Georgia State Coordinator, he'll be hopefully be able to talk about it a little more. So I'll be glad to have everybody either hunting or activating here in Georgia. Come on down. It's a great place to activate. And by the way, we're on the way to Florida, so right down I-75. We have lots of parks on the way, so stop here in Central Georgia, get your Buc-ee's beaver nuggets, and then activate a couple parks on the way, and we'll be glad to have you.
Heck yeah. Absolutely.
Can you do me a favor? Can you do me a favor? Can you airmail me a Buc-ee's famous burger? I hear they're the greatest in the world. I've never had one. I don't care if it's cold.
Well, the brisket.
I'll even take a little bit of mold.
I think it's the brisket sandwich you're looking for, not the burgers. Probably the brisket is probably what they're more famous for.
It's the famous Buc-ee's sandwich. That's all I know.
It's it's not a burger. It's a brisket sandwich. It's a sliced brisket on a like a hoagie roll bread kind of thing, and it's very good if you catch it on the right day. In the right time. But the Buc-ee's brisket and the beaver nuggets. That's what gets people on through here. And it's funny watching APRS. A lot of times you see people they'll go in. You'll see them, go through the parking lot and then head on down wherever. It's funny, APRS watching them.
They're getting the nuggets.
Yep, getting gas in at the Buc-ee's. Yeah, absolutely.
Right on. You were not expecting that, was you?
I appreciate y'all letting me come in here, and I hope that we'll see you guys on the air in April.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming. By all means.
Thanks for coming, man. We appreciate you and appreciate all the information. And we'll get you back on here again when it gets closer to that time. Maybe the same night as Claude gets on here. Yeah, I was trying to think of his name. I wanted to say Cliff for some reason, but we'll probably have you on again between then and now. And we're working on one more other guest between then and now.
No worries.
I think we're going to get him. I think Bill's in contact with him.
Well, this helps a lot. It's because we want to get the word out and as best we can. So we appreciate it.
Absolutely. So you guys out in the chat, share this live stream for Chris.
Yes, by all means. Let's do that.
Share it to everybody you know. Let's get this event going. And if you want to, edit it and just clip that part of the video and put that out there.
Maybe we could clip a short out of it and put up too.
Yeah, I can download the videos and we can make it happen.
That'd be great.
Good.
Right. Very good.
Sounds good.
Well, it's about that time, guys. Cool. It's 4 minutes past, so I'm gonna lead it off and lead it out and say 7 threes, Peace, love, and the ham fam, as the POTA boy always says. POTA boy in the house, real chill, real smooth. We're out.
Good evening.
That
73,
didn't turn you on.
everybody.
I don't know what would.
73, everybody from W0KAL.
7:30s, guys.
Whiskey, whiskey 6, whiskey, whiskey, whiskey. Alex from Cheyenne, Wyoming, saying 73. All the whiskey, all the love.
What did I just start? Go ahead, Bill. Let's have it.
Bill already went.
Cricket, cricket, cricket.
84XO. See ya.
Catch you later, Chris. Thanks for coming on, brother.
y'all.
7:30s, everybody.